Mm-hmm. Why, yes. But first, yeah, but before I get into the video, I just want to say that I definitely enjoyed the top 10 worst SML Marvin and the Cody torture those videos. I mean, seriously, and I feel so bad for Marvin and Cody. Yep, poor Marvin and Cody. Yeah, well, yes. Yeah, and I am gonna make a few torture episodes and video. Kind of like the worst the Dookie test the torture episodes and the worst the Reina card flight the torture the episodes the Amy Rose and Melina, Luigi, and Daisy will be included. Yeah, but for now, here are the top 7 worst SpongeBob moments. Yes. SpongeBob has also had plenty of bad appearances, moments, and episodes. Yeah, all right. So let's get into it. 7. Ripped pants. Yeah. Now this episode, it just has SpongeBob being completely jealous, though out of though nowhere. Though then he tries to whip his pants a lot, just to try to impress Sandy. Until straight out of nowhere, he just fakes his own death. Which that thankfully that SpongeBob and he gets rightfully punished. And he definitely learns his lesson. Such an idiot. 6. Pet his sitter Pat. Now this episode has SpongeBob wanting a babysitter for some reason. Yeah, but then though thankfully he hires Patrick. All right. First of all, why on earth would he trust Patrick? Though I mean, like, though he should never given Gary to Sandy, or Mr. Krabs, or like somebody else. I mean, like, yes, sure. Thankfully, Patrick and Gary are both perfectly fine, but still, though, SpongeBob, though not a good choice. My boy. 5. Where's Gary? All right, so now back in the old days. I did feel bad for her SpongeBob, and I started crying a lot, exactly like him. I mean, like, and though every time the one the episode comes on, I just cried and cried for hours. Yeah, I felt really bad for him. The only the when I was a baby. But now, but what do I think of it as a teenager and an adult? I think it was his fault. I mean, sure, and I will give him some select. Man, since he worked all night and all days to look for him, but still, it was pretty much his fault. For neglecting Gary and for not feeding him. Yeah, but thankfully, who Bob the what pants comes along and SpongeBob gets a good taste of karma and also karma though in the later episodes as 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 his undeserved punishment. Yeah, but yeah, thankfully, though in the later episodes, he does though thankfully though treat Gary the better one. Though in the later those seasons for survival of the idiots. Now, at the beginning, now since he did watch the TV about Sandy going into the hibernating, though that SpongeBob tells Patrick that we should get out of here until Patrick says no, no, no. Until what do you know so that SpongeBob and Patrick they start causing her mayhem as usual, and then but then they are now cold. Yeah, so how do they stay warm? They use a duct tape to rip off her Sandy's fur until that Sandy gives Patrick and her SpongeBob karma. Though by forcing them to be Sandy's fur. Ho ho! The hilarious irony. Next is the boat smarts. Oh, I hate this episode. Throughout the entire the episode, it's just Squidward and Mrs. Putt being tortured for no real reason whatsoever. Like, why? I don't know. Though probably for his own amusement. I mean, trust me, I'm not gonna say anything about this episode. Goodness, I hate him. SpongeBob. Now next is number two. The number two is a pal for Gary. Alright, this episode shines him a little at his worst. But not his the absolute worst. It's because this episode, it's just SpongeBob thinking that the Gary is all by himself. Sorry about that. Until he decides to get him a pal. Until the lady tells him about the warning about the puffy fluffy. Until her SpongeBob then he decided to act like Rose from SML, taking her puffy fluffy side, even though he is evil. And he nearly almost murders Gary. And especially her SpongeBob himself. Yeah, but then Gary saves his life. I swear. So in some days I hate the all Rose, Braxton Jr. and SpongeBob. Now, these three are all those dummies together. Literally. Now, as for number one is the breath of breath of a fresh Squidward. This episode shines him at his true worth. Now, after SpongeBob stalks Squidward, now this means that Squidward gets some security. But then that backfires until he gets tasered. Then which causes Squidward to become nice. But then SpongeBob gets jealous. Over Squidward being nice. Until he decides to be a jerk to him for no reason. I mean, SpongeBob being a jerk to Squidward. I swear, this is at his the worst. You know what? I'm done. Alright, guys. So thank you for watching and bye. And I'm done.